Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
I'm so fucking ready.
Yeah?
I'm downtown Indy.
What you ready for?
Well, I got sesame seeds in between my teeth.
Oh, okay.
I'm bloated from eating a bunch of leftover seafood.
And your nose just started bleeding.
Again?
No.
Oh. I got Ryobi's charging on the kitchen counter. Let's see. And the phone is going on Do Not Disturb because I don't want any fucking telemarketer calls.
Not this time.
Sorry, guys, Nick, whoever, you're not getting a hold of me now.
Oh, man. How are you?
Aside from the bleeding, I should be all right.
Well, we're here to talk.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay,
we're
good.
here to talk and bring a little civil discourse to an otherwise
no?
discordant world.
Okay,
No, you're all right.
all right.
Just don't pick it.
I don't pick it. I went to just go clear out the pipes, and all of a sudden the waterworks started.
It's all good. It's all good.
The seas ran red.
That's like a period joke.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Old Testament, but okay.
All right. I mean, either way. The seas boiled and the skies fell.
There we go.
That's Old Testament.
Wrath of Khan stuff.
Woo! Wrath of Khan is his Old Testament.
Is it?
I like that.
I thought that was Star Trek.
It is.
Oh, wait. Star Trek was in the Old Testament?
Obviously.
Where is this going?
I don't know. I was just following your lead. We went off tangent. Should we start over?
No, because you know what doesn't go off tangent? The rules.
The rules!
Get right to them.
3 rules for the sake of civility here in the bubble. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick.
That was not a euphemism. I have lithium-ion batteries charging on the counter. Nobody cares.
That really went back a minute, too.
Yeah.
It's like you meant to make that joke, but you missed it. But I'm glad that you brought it back. You okay over there?
Yeah, no, I'm
You're doing a lot of blinking.
Yeah, because that fucking thing is rolling around on the inside of my eye
well,
again.
Don't rub it.
Listeners aren't going to know.
We got viewers, too.
Nobody watches this show.
Rude.
Everybody's listening in their cars on the way to Rochester.
Listen, we have plenty of people who listen to this show, who watch this show. You might not think so, but they are, in fact, out there. They're all over the place. Colorado has given us a lot of love this week.
Yeah?
A lot of love this week.
Jeez, I haven't been to Colorado in a minute.
Colorado.
I'll be back soon, guys. Don't
Colorado, worry. India, as usual. Thank you, India. And
Bangladesh?
And Bangladesh, yes. And Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Hassel.
Yeah, Hassel. But yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Mr. Sparkle.
Misa Sparkle? You like Mrs. Sparkle?
No, me no like Mrs. Sparkle, especially now. Oh,
What's
man.
up, Chief?
For those of you under the age of 20, that's a Simpsons reference.
Oh God.
Do you think like 20 and below year olds know what the Simpsons are?
Below year olds? First of all, we're gonna start using that all the time. Second of all, I want to excuse myself. I just spit everywhere.
And nobody would have known if you hadn't said a damn thing.
Do I think 20 and below year olds would know? Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. 20 and below year olds didn't seem to know who Jerry Seinfeld was.
Well, that was one human person, a single lone human person. But
I'm sure
Disney,
his coworker
Disney.
didn't know
First
either.
of all, The Simpsons is still on the air.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, like new episodes still come out on network TV, and it is a big chunk of Disney+.
You think Gen Z actually watches network TV?
Why wouldn't they?
Because they don't want to pay for it?
Shit, they don't have to pay for it. Shit comes out the next day, streaming everywhere.
Oh, so it's like Hulu back in 2009.
It's Hulu today also.
Yeah.
Like, shit goes on network TV for the weirdos who still have it. And then, it's mostly for hotel lobbies and waiting for your car to be
fair
serviced.
enough, because both of our TVs have like a live option that we don't pay for. So
that's
I guess
right.
That's how they get viewership.
That's it.
I guess numbers are more important than revenue.
That live TV thing was how we started watching Saved by the Bell randomly last summer also.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for reintroducing me to Zach Morris and his trash.
And his trash life.
And getting me into Kelly Kapowski.
Were you into Kelly Kapowski?
I was never in. I didn't know who. I didn't know who Kelly Kapowski was until you made me start watching Saved by the Bell and 90210. So
she wasn't Kelly Kapowski. She wasn't even Tiffany Amber Thiessen at that point. She was just Tiffany Thiessen. She dropped the Amber like Mellencamp dropped the Cougar.
Yeah, you should see what she's dropping now.
I'm gonna skip that one.
Good.
I'm gonna let that one go. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? Okay, so, oh man, I had a segue and now I lost it. It's all that blood I lost from my brain. Oh, here we
It's
go.
the deep
So,
hemorrhaging.
so here's the 6 degrees of separation. So one night, you and I are sitting around. I think it's a Wednesday or a Thursday night, sitting on the couch, and we're watching comedians in cars getting coffee.
We
Okay?
did that, yes.
For those who don't know, it's a show Jerry Seinfeld started. For those who don't know Jerry Seinfeld, Wikipedia him. Okay, it was. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so we're watching the show. It's a show that Seinfeld started in 2015-ish, where he literally just borrows a car from a rich friend, a nice car, goes and picks up a comedian or actor friend of his, and they go get coffee and tell jokes and marvel about the car and, you know, how the world is not what it was when they were in their prime. That's the basis of every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point you said to me, you go, you know, we don't really have a place to go get coffee and pie. And
Yeah.
I said, I know the perfect place for that right now.
Well, that's not exactly what you said.
I said I know a place.
You said
like I know a
you
guy.
you literally you quite literally just said we have Diner Lux.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, well, that's not a falsehood.
But see, Diner Lux, at least to my knowledge, maybe okay, there's maybe one or two other places in town that could fit this description.
Yeah.
But Diner Lux was the first place that came to mind that has like an extensive display of baked goods.
But most diners do.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of diners in this town. Like we go to Theo's all the time. Theo's doesn't have
Theo's is
pies on
breakfast
display.
and lunch.
Yeah.
They don't have, you know, late night, early morning kind of shit.
Maybe Three Brothers, but like we've never been there late enough to get dessert either.
I don't know that they have a dessert showcase because all they do is Batman.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Anyway, that was the first place that came to mind that would have been open.
Yes.
8, 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night.
Coffee and pie.
Which is exactly what we did.
Yes, we went to go get coffee and pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we told our waiter, who looked like he was 19, 20 years old, exactly why we did it.
Yeah.
He looked at us like, you know, oh yeah, I know who Seinfeld is. And then walked away and I said to you, I'm like, what do you think the chances are that guy has no fucking clue what we're talking about?
And I still wonder if he cared.
Yeah. So the point of that story, Brian,
yes,
is the fact that that night kind of began like a new, not tradition, but like it was the entry point for us to just casually be going out, because we don't go out a whole hell of a lot unless we're doing shows or unless we got, you know, appointments or plans or whatever. We don't just casually go out and get coffee, pie, a meal, anything like that, because quite frankly, it's gotten quite fucking expensive.
Now, that was always, just to interject for a moment, that was what was on my mind when you insisted, and I say insisted because you were insistent about it, just barely 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. I'm going to go with 3. When you looked me, your wife, in the face and you said, we should make a regular date night out of Friday nights.
We should.
And I said, okay. And you said, I want you ready to go out. And because I told you, I said, I don't have a problem going out anywhere, but you need to tell me ahead of time. Otherwise, I'm not necessarily going to be showered or dressed. I may have eaten already. And I'm like, you got to give me some kind of heads up. So you said to me, be ready by 6:30 p.m. every Friday.
And have you been?
I certainly have. Thank you. Yes, I held up my end of that bargain. And
every Friday since.
And every Friday, we have begun going out somewhere. And the unfortunate side effect of that is that we have come to the realization that going out is an extravagance.
We've also in addition, even before 4 weeks ago, made Sunday lunch a regular we've continued the family tradition.
Well, you know, I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
by the time we get out of church, you are the only one really. You're like, I'm hungry.
Well, that's because the only thing that I have between when I wake up and the time we get to lunch, which is what, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
It's like 1,
is a cup of coffee.
Yes.
That's all I've had.
But like,
and the body of Christ.
I always eat like a granola bar before we go because I have to take my meds.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you could bring a little.
It's funny because
bring a little nosh.
We were told
to subside you since the body of Christ.
So we were told as kids, you're not supposed to eat anything like, what is it, an hour before you receive?
Why?
Because you're supposed to prepare him room. That's
He's
the
just this big.
I know, that's just the
He's
Catholic.
a little bitty big. It's not one of those dinosaur sponges that comes in the little pill.
It's not a dino nugget.
No.
No, it's a wafer. No, it's part of the, you know, the reverence and the respect for the, you know,
Is that a thing?
the ritual.
Are you supposed to fast before receiving
You're
communion?
supposed to not eat anything or drink anything for at least an hour beforehand.
Like going swimming.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as a kid, I didn't give a shit. I just fucking, if I was hungry, I'm eating before mass.
Well, yeah.
But who would have known that, you know, I would inadvertently adopt what I should have been doing all along as an adult. Anyway, so again, nothing but coffee by, you know, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And as soon as we leave, I'm just like, hey, who's hungry? And nobody raises their hand.
No.
Okay. But sometimes we end up going somewhere anyway, because the kid, if we put chicken fingers and fries in front of the
If you put food
kid
in front of him, he'll eat it.
And plus, that was always the thing, whether it was when it was our whole family going, or whether it was just dad and me and Henry, or all of us, or whatever. Go to the diner, go to this place, go to that place. For didn't matter how much or how little, we'll take it home. We can always make more.
We can always get more.
And as of late, didn't matter whether it's Sunday after church, Friday night after I get out of work, Wednesday nights for pie and coffee. Just between the two of us.
Oh God, it's horrendous. It's
like, I know
it's upsetting to me, because I'm like, my sensibilities are like, we don't need to spend this money. This is officially like a luxury.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that we have done it so many times in the last week, like it puts like a pit in my
like
stomach.
I'm not gonna lie, I have thoroughly enjoyed sitting in public dining, you know, establishments, sitting across from you, looking you in the eye ever so lovingly, like I know you want me to, enjoying a meal, not looking at our phones very much, if at all,
Scooby-Doo over my shoulder,
or Japanese baseball. She'll tell you about that later. And just enjoying, you know, time, because we spend so much time here. It's nice. It's nice to get out. And, you know, I think everybody, if given the opportunity, would love to do, you know, to be able to go out and have a nice night out and not have it break the bank. But anybody else who does what we're doing, you know, or wants to do what we're doing, knows that, like, this started long before the last few weeks, because I remember the last couple of times I went to Eddie's and just had a Jack and Coke, and it was minimum like $13 for a single.
Well, that's just it. Is that, like, even the things that it's like, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm only gonna have one drink, or I'm gonna go, but I'm just gonna get some drive-through or something. The amount of money that you're spending on these just situations is bonkers.
Like, I remember a single mixed drink being like $7-8, and a double being 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
But now a single is 13. We went out. What was it? So after mass last week, we went to Toro in Newtown. We had the boy with us, you know, and the only reason we went there is because we couldn't get in anywhere else.
Well, we could have if we really wanted to wait.
But there was nobody at Toro. Like, boom, in right away.
Yeah.
And it was at least $70-80,
if not more,
something like that.
Yeah.
Probably more. Then cut to, what was it? This past Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. We went to Yoko Kitchen here in town.
Yeah.
And I got a bowl of ramen, and you got a lobster roll.
Yeah.
Drinks. No dessert, mind you.
No.
$70.
But okay. That's
hold on. Then there's today, after Mass, the Sunday tradition. Okay? After Mass, we decided Blue Colony is packed again.
Excuse you.
Thank you. Burgeritoville. Haven't been there in years.
Yeah.
You and me, just the two of us. $70.
Now, what I was going to say was that the expense of going to Yoko Kitchen made sense to an extent
because of the seafood,
insofar as that you and I both ate lobster.
Right.
I understand, but like I think about the fact that you and I can go have a succulent Chinese meal together.
Get your hands off my penis.
And it's literally like $90, okay, for the two of us. I went out with my girlfriends the other day, and it was, with tax and tip, $130.
How many people?
4.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm like, so what? $90 for the two of us? And I'm like, that's baloney. That's crazy. It's crazy when you and I go to fucking McDonald's
and spend
40 fucking dollars
or 50.
We went to Panera Bread also, and
That was $50.
We spent $50 there.
Okay, so
it's like, what? And we were talking about that also because we were sitting in the parking lot doing the high school thing, and we were we were just eating in the car, dog in the
just
backseat.
Eating in the car.
We were just eating, honestly, and we were talking about how like they have their little twofer, the pick two.
You pick two, yeah.
And it's like you can get this whole ass sandwich for $12. Or you can get, or like $11, like 10 and change or something for the whole sandwich.
Or you can get a half a sandwich. And a cup of soup.
And a cup of soup for like
$10.
No.
12. What?
For like $12.
Yeah.
It's like
$12?
That's not a deal.
No.
A deal would be you give me the whole fucking sandwich and a cup of soup for $12. That's a deal.
That used to be a deal.
But it's like, and then like the sandwiches came out and they were so goddamn small. And you have complained about that for a while. That the portions of food has gotten smaller.
Not even just with fast food or corporate chains. No. And that's the other thing too, is that personally, I would much prefer to support the local businesses.
Sure.
Or the smaller chains, if you even want to call them that. Like, I'd rather go to Yoko Kitchen. I'd rather go to Theo's. I'd rather go to Burgerito. I'd rather go to Blue Colony. I'd rather go to any of the staples of these towns that we've spent so much of our lives in that are there to serve the community. Yeah. I'm done with McDonald's and Burger King and Panera and all the fucking, because what they've told us for years is true. It's not really good for you. Our health is, we need to be better at maintaining, our health. And we've both made great strides in that. Mm-hmm. Very much limited our fast food intake.
Yes.
But the thing is that just like many years ago, fast food is still cheaper than everything. But at this point,
but not anymore.
But at this point, and I've seen a lot of articles about this, is that, people are thinking that they'd rather spend the little bit or even more extra money to eat healthier, to eat at an actual restaurant where it's not, full of preservatives and frozen and this, that, and the other thing. Like,
Considering the difference in what you actually spend these days, I absolutely agree. Like, it's not a cheaper alternative. If it was like, I can go to Taco Bell and I can get twice the amount of food I could stand to eat for like $10. It's like, that's one thing. But it's not like that anymore. It's not like that even with fast food. And they want to say, we're using better ingredients now. We're using like,
Papa John's.
Like real food. But like, my brain is saying, honestly, that like, it's not just restaurants. It's not just out eating, it's groceries also.
Yep.
The only thing that seems to not have gotten smaller is the Oreo.
As the one who does the shopping most every week, yeah.
Like the fact that like I think about how big a Snickers bar used to be. They're smaller now.
Yeah, they've decreased the size and increased the price. That's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Smaller now. The only thing, a gallon of milk is a gallon of milk, but the price is still going up on it.
And not only that, but, you're not only paying more for what you're getting or what you're not getting, the quality of service has gone down. How many times a day do you hear me complain? Like you got me hooked on this Starbucks kick the last couple of months. And every time I go in there, my order's never ready when they say it's going to be. It's usually wrong. One thing comes out way after the other one, just like this morning. Like, why am I going to tip? Like I told you last week, I'm done with the obligatory tipping, especially like when we have a waitress like we did today who just couldn't have given a shit about, the quality of her service. Like, she just seemed like she couldn't wait to get out of there. And her shift had just started.
To be quite frank, I don't believe she was a waitress. I believe she was a bartender.
Acting as a waitress.
She was a bartender and she was the only one there. There was the takeout guy, probably one dude in the kitchen, and a dishwasher.
Yeah, but you're there to work, and if you expect a decent tip,
like, don't get me wrong,
serve your customers.
I understand. I'm on your side when it comes to
like the
shit
vibe
like
I got was, hey, like, here's the menu, and what can I get for you guys? And yeah, call me if you need anything. Like, You better learn a fucking trade, sweetheart.
I think that is her trade, dear.
Being a cunt?
She wasn't a cunt. She was just blasé about it.
That's a cunt.
And
in my book.
I hate to break it to you, but I think most people in the service industry at this point, they have no interest in doing the job. You know, you've talked about...
Then they're in the wrong industry.
But that's just it, is you've talked about how these are jobs. They're not supposed to be careers. So it's like, yeah, these are things that people are doing just for money. And most of them are young. Most of them are bored. And I consider that a generational thing also.
Yeah.
Okay? Most of them are bored because they would rather be on their phones.
Yep.
When we worked as, you know, teenagers and college age and stuff like that.
We weren't buried in our phones.
We weren't buried in our phones because there was nothing to do on your phone except play Snake every once in a while. But like, you found things to busy yourself with.
Yes.
You know, like you cleaned up. You were hyper focused on whether or not someone needed something because you needed because you needed that goddamn tip. You know, but like that's just it. Is that it's wild to me though, and this is this I think is what people blame. Is blame the right word? This is the reasoning behind everyone saying
the cost hikes.
Yes, this is the reasoning why everyone is saying that, you know, eateries and businesses like that and services they're dying off because nobody has, you know, like the bar scene is gone at this point because nobody has the money to go out anymore.
Let's bring it back
because
you know, we both know how things trickle down, and if the cost increases for production, the cost increases for, you know, supplies and food and everything else, it's like it's going to trickle down to the bottom line. And if people like, it's the age-old discussion of, you know, cost of things going up without wages going up. And if people's wages aren't going up, they're not going to be able to afford to go to these places and to support these businesses and keep them in business.
If wages don't go up.
But then you have people arguing over, well, we should raise minimum wage or we should do this, we should subsidize that and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there has to be, at some point, the scale has to be balanced. Like it has to come to a point where people can afford to live and work and afford, you know, basic necessities.
But here's the thing, okay? And this could just me playing devil's advocate, and it could be, you know, it could sound ignorant, but I'm going to say it anyway. People talk about how if the cost of living continues to go up, then, you know, without a wage hike, people are not going to be able to afford the, you know, the human necessities, the actual necessities of living. So the answer to that is one of two things. Either cap the cost of living, which is government interference in a free market, which is not what people want.
That's what some people want.
Yeah. But it's a slippery slope. And the second way is to increase wages. Increase minimum wage, and by degrees that then goes up the ladder to where everyone's, you know, income bracket gets moved up a half a step or so. The problem is that if everyone starts making more money, then the free market says, well, now everyone can afford this shit, so why not raise the price?
Exactly. Somebody has to eat a cost at somewhere along the line.
Someone has to.
But nobody's willing to.
No.
Like... You know, I'm one of a very small group of people in my job who's not like clamoring for overtime.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we don't need to splurge as much as we've been. We don't need to eat out. Like it, you know, we've spent plenty of weeks and months at times where we literally just go out at the grocery store, come home, cook the food that we buy, and do it all here.
We've been a little indulgent the last couple of weeks.
And we have every right to be. Yeah. Because we've worked for it.
We have worked for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you don't see behind the scenes, you know, don't judge until you've.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and we will certainly go back to that because I love to cook. You've seen how much fried chicken I've made in the past month.
I didn't have to cook.
You know, but sometimes, you know, couples like to go, people like to go out,
Sure.
you know, like I remember hearing like, you know, news reports and old stories and documentaries like back in the 70s when there was the gas shortage and the brownouts and this and that, people stayed home, people were afraid to go out because the city was violent and, you know, people couldn't afford, you know, to eat and splurge and blah 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 blah. And that's when you saw people cooking at home more and this and that and the other thing. I know I can, you know, just compiled a whole bunch of these things all at once, but it's all off the top of my head. These are things I remember hearing. And I feel like we're going to get back to that at some point, especially with the way things are trending right now.
You think? What, with like a gas shortage and brownouts?
If I don't know about gas shortage and brownouts, but if two people minimum are going to spend 40, $50 going out to eat at, you know, a local establishment, you know, that's not like an upscale eatery. Like there used to be, you know, your fast food, your local town, you know, whatever, and then your fancy place that you went out on a special occasion.
Now, I think about when you tell me, you know, your tales of your childhood and how you guys went out regularly. You did family out nights.
Well, let me put a pin in that for a second.
Okay.
At that point, my parents were much older, so it's not like they were our age now. It's like they had worked, they had, you know, grown their respective businesses, and, you know, could afford to like essentially raise their fees.
I'm not suggesting that they didn't
live outside their means.
I'm not suggesting that they were living outside their means or that we are. No. I am merely saying that my brain goes to, there were 6 people in your family.
Yes. But the cost of living back then was not what it is now.
Nonetheless, you had 6 people in your family.
Yep.
And that's a lot.
A lot of mouths to feed.
That's a lot of mouths.
And we were big boys.
Yeah, well, I think about like when I was younger and how we only went out to eat when it was a special thing. We really did. Like birthdays, we would go to restaurants. On a rare occasion, we would be like, you know, let's go to the buffet, or like, you know, if, you know, we were being, you know, if grandma was babysitting, then like she might treat us to McDonald's or something like that. But like we did not go out on a regular basis.
Well, like, you know, for example, like when we were all out of the house, you know, and on a Friday night, if my parents didn't feel like cooking, there's like, oh, let's go to the diner, or let's go to Pizza Palace, or let's go, you know, someplace, or my place, like any one of 100 places that all of my friends would be like, ran into your parents tonight.
But they didn't
remember who we were
at that point in time. That's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't cost $90 for 2 people to go out to dinner.
No.
Even at a sit down nicery.
You really are just making up words. You and I have been making up words all week.
It's the thing to do. Shakespeare did it. Why not me?
Does that mean that Webster is going to owe us money?
If they take it up. Okay. If they take it up.
We gotta get in with the
we gotta get it. We gotta
call
get
the copyright office. We have a speed dial to them.
TM. But like that's just it. It's not just the, you know, it's turning things into a luxury. A pint of ice cream.
Turning living into a luxury.
A pint of ice cream, i.e., how much does it cost to buy a pint of ice cream?
No, we're not talking a Ben & Jerry's cup. We're talking the...
No. That's a pint.
The Ben & Jerry's cup is a pint?
The Ben & Jerry's, that's a pint of ice cream.
Well, I mean, Ben & Jerry's is like a premium...
How much?
Ben & Jerry's is, if it's not on sale, $7, $8.
$7.
Yeah.
$7.
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs is probably right around the same. Forget that fucking, what is it, Talasso or whatever it is, the gelato.
Yeah,
that's gotta be upwards of like $8 to $10 a pint.
Yeah, but ice cream is considered a luxury.
But that's
especially that because it's got candy and shit in it.
But it's considered a luxury
because you can buy the store brand in a quart for fucking $4.
It is insane to me to think that it's a luxury, like the coffee creamer.
The price of eggs. Look
at
the price
of eggs.
All last year with the back and forth on the eggs.
These were supposed to be staples.
Yeah, they're still supposed to be staples.
Supposed to be staples. Everyone used to talk about the price of a gallon of milk. You would see it in like the store windows that they would advertise what the price of their milk is.
And then you go on fucking TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and you see these AI generated videos where, you know, a robotic voice comes on and is just like, just want to let you know that back in 1903 or 1925 or whatever, you know, Kellogg's and General Mills and all these guys, bacon and eggs and cereal and orange juice wasn't really the healthy staple, you know, of a balanced breakfast diet. Like, they just did that for marketing ploys. And
it's part of a balanced breakfast, damn it.
yeah. It's like they're trying to convince you now that like these were all, you know, meant to entice you into this routine that, you know, kept the businesses going.
But this is just it. When I think of luxuries, okay, true luxuries.
We got to come back to that.
What?
Never mind. Just keep going.
When I think of true luxuries, like I got my nails did. I got my nails done for the first time by another human person.
That's a luxury.
This is a luxury.
That is some jet black.
And I couldn't be happier. And the price of these was even lower than I expected it to be.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So we should start eating nails is what you're saying.
I wouldn't eat these.
You know what my interpretation of a luxury is?
What?
That fucking $75 you pay every time you're about to cross boardwalk.
Waka, 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 waka. But I'm sorry, like cereal should not be a luxury.
No, it shouldn't be $5 a box for the normal size and then like $7 or $8 for the family size.
Now I saw, you know, one of those, you know, let's compare grocery prices from like, you know, 1950 or something like that.
Things
to today.
were different. You can't
and
do
it's
that.
Just like they're like, look, you could get a week's worth of groceries for like $12.50. And it's like $12.50 today will buy you like a box of cereal, 2 apples, and like a quart of milk. And I'm just like, and my brain literally saw that. And I was like, you know how many meals you could make out of a box of cereal, a quart of milk, and 2 apples? You could feed yourself for like 3 days on that.
In 2015, okay, first time I've ever lived on my own, okay? And I was still shopping at Aldi's at the time. Now, granted, Aldi's isn't the best quality out of all the, you know, supermarkets we have around here. But $100 at Aldi's would feed me, just me, for a month.
Yeah.
A month. That means that I was buying eggs, milk, chicken, beef, pork, cereal, you know, orange juice, coffee creamer, you know, deli meats, the whole, like, Pop-Tarts, fresh fruit. Like I'd raid the fucking store. And $100 in 2015 lasted me a month. $100 now anywhere would last me a week if I'm lucky.
Now it's like, you know, I think about like when I was younger and we used to get like the healthy choice and the lean cuisine and stuff like that.
And I wasn't buying any of that stuff at that point, even now.
And I make the excuse, and I call it an excuse because it really is. I make the excuse that, you know, the serving size of what you receive in those individual dinners is supposed to be the recommended serving size for that meal. The whole point is that you're not overindulging in the food that you're getting, but you're still paying $8
or more
for a single serving.
And then most
of
times
food.
You're still hungry afterwards. And if you're like me, you end up eating 2, and then that's still not enough.
Well, then if you're doing that, you're not doing it right. I love you, but that's not how you do that.
But if you're still hungry, like...
But like if you buy like one of those like frozen bag dinners, like the Bird's Eye, you know, dinners and stuff like that, it's like you eat a whole thing of that, right? Like if you get like the riced cauliflower or like the veggie mac that we used to get and stuff like that, we were paying what? $4 a bag of that. And that's a whole ass meal. That's a whole ass meal.
And then the big bag of like the pasta dinner, that was like $16.
Yeah.
It's
just like, it's fucking crazy. Like family size, they're like, oh, well, it's got portions in it for 5 people. And it's just like, yeah, but it doesn't serve 5 people.
You could literally buy a box of pasta for $1.25.
Yeah.
You could buy some fresh broccoli or fresh whatever vegetables for God knows how much less, and spend way less than $16 for that bag of frozen salt.
Groceries should not be a luxury. Gas should not be a luxury. Like that's just it.
Except there's an excuse for everything.
There's
if people are going to say gas shouldn't be a luxury, they'd be like, ride a bicycle.
Yeah, walk. Ride a bicycle, public transit. It's like, It's like, but what happens when the cost of those things goes up because of the extra maintenance that's required for public transit now that so many people are using it? What about the staffing of them and everything like that? It's like there's always going to be some reason, some excuse for raising the price of everything.
Because nobody is willing to take a loss. Nobody is willing to bend a knee. Nobody is willing to concede anything at this point. Everybody wants what they want when they want it, and they're going to fight tooth and nail for it.
But that's just it, is that people do make that concession.
Who makes the concession?
The consumer who, like us, bitches and moans about
That's
it.
That's not making a concession.
But continues to concede to take that hit. To say, well, this is so expensive, but they don't stop getting it. They don't make those changes.
You mean like the people who don't like Chick-fil-A's practices but still eat there?
Yes. And people who, say, like, oh, the cost of this has gone up and everything. And it's like, yeah, but you still use it. It's like, think about it. Okay, talk about luxury. Ready? And what people, I dare say, are starting to consider a part of the cost of living. Streaming services. They have raised the prices on streaming services at least twice a year in the last 5 years.
Did you know that
it's insane.
To this day, I still subscribe to none of them.
No, I do.
I know you do, but I have zero.
No, you and
And if you canceled all of yours tomorrow, I would still get by.
And I'm sure I would also.
Yeah.
But, but those are my luxuries.
Listen,
that's just it.
Milk
isn't a luxury.
You know about the luxuries that I gave. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I got into that tiff with the guy at the local gaming store, right?
Yes.
And because I woke up that morning and I saw
violence.
I saw a Facebook on this day post from exactly a year ago that day where I complained about something he said to me.
Yeah.
And, and I thought to myself and I reposted it and said a year later, nothing's changed. So that morning I said, I'm no longer going to support this business because he's still the same rude prick he's always been. And I don't really want to deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
Haven't been back since, or at least have not made a purchase there since. No, I've had to go in there because I've had to pick up his mail. No, I have not made a single purchase from his store since that day.
Good for you.
Since that. And I refuse to.
No.
Based just principle alone.
So who do you give your money to now?
I spend it online or I go to the other place. But I still don't I don't buy as frequently as I used to because that is a luxury. I don't need shiny cardboard. I don't need it to live.
You don't? No. I mean, you have your have your indulgences the way that everybody does.
That was my investing phase. That was my investing, like, I'm going to hold on to this for so many years until it appreciates in value.
Yeah.
And I was buying something like every other day. I'm not buying anything anymore, like once in a great while now.
Didn't you just tell me that you pre-ordered something?
I pre-ordered something that is going to be worth something. That's actually, that's going to be a quick turnaround.
You just said.
Because unlike most people, I have no problem scalping. People want to call me a piece of shit for that. Oh, well.
You don't have a problem scalping, but you also call people pieces of shit for doing it.
I never did that. No, I think the people that camp out at Costco for Pokemon cards are just fucking stupid. Like,
I think the same thing about people who camp out for movie releases.
I don't know anybody who does that anymore.
You don't remember?
I remember, but I don't.
People used to do
but
that.
I don't know anybody who does, like, people who used to camp out for Black Friday.
I don't think they do those.
But hold on, because I need to defend myself here.
Defend yourself.
Because first of all, I'm not camping out at Costco for Pokemon cards. I'm not scalping Pokemon cards. But I am doing essentially what every retailer in the world does, and that is buying something at a price and then marking it up for my customer. So I can make some money.
Now let's just stay on this for a second, because this can be said of everything that we have talked about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have said that, because we were actually talking earlier today about Yu-Gi-Oh specifically, and how stores don't typically stock it because they're not going to get their return because it's not as in demand as Pokemon or Magic.
Yep.
Okay. So now, you have made comment about this and other things about how if they would lower their retail, they would make it back because people would be more inclined to spend the money on it.
Because they'd feel more comfortable because they knew they would have, if they knew they had more room to play with, if
Yeah.
they knew they had enough money to buy, say, this amount as opposed to this amount, be like, I can swing that this month.
But that's just it, is that it's one of those things. It's the same can be said for any consumer product,
I know.
including food.
Let me give you a real world example.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
This is something I used to tell people all the time. When we still owned the shooting range here in town, okay, I said to my dad and my brother a whole bunch of times, why don't we become a Glock dealer? Everybody wants a Glock. If you don't know what a Glock is, go look it up, okay? But it's one of the most popular brands of pistols that are out there, okay? Everybody knows what a Glock 19 is.
I'm going to Google that later.
Anyway, the Glock deuce deuce. No, don't ever say that again. But anyway, I said, people buy more Glocks than anything else, okay? Let's become a dealer. They said no. They said if we did, we'd have to carry a whole bunch of them, carry the line. We'd have to stock a certain number of them.
Is that true?
In order to become a licensed dealer, not a license, but like an authorized dealer. Yes. Okay. At least at the time, they wanted you to pre-order like so many. Okay. And I was told we didn't have the space for it. It wouldn't sell as, we wouldn't be able to do the kind of sales to keep it up. And I said, well, then why is somebody going to go to that store over there and buy one? Or no, why is somebody going to come to us and pay $650 for one when they can go to that place and pay $430?
Right.
Think about the difference. $430, $650.
I see the big difference. There's certainly a difference for me.
Some people came to us and paid $650 because they wanted to support the local small non-chain business, and we damn sure appreciated that.
What was the other place?
It was a corporate retailer. They're not a corporate but like it was a chain.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to say which one, but again, they were charging because they could afford, because they were a dealer. They stocked the line. They had so many in stock, duplicates.
Yeah.
And they were able to do that with the company. And they sold a hell of a lot more of them than we did. But the constant point of conflict, especially between my dad, my brother, and I, was, listen, we should sell more for less.
Yeah.
Because if we constantly keep the product in rotation, it'll let people know, hey, we're not charging so much. We're not trying to be greedy.
Right.
And people will be more inclined to be like, I'd rather go deal with an actual person than somebody who's just, wearing a corporate shirt with a name tag, and have an actual conversation with a knowledgeable person about the product who actually gives a damn about serving the community, which is exactly what I was.
Right.
The example I always used there was, we got 6 of this one particular pistol in one time. John gifted me one for my 28th birthday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I let anybody who came in who wanted to try mine, I let them try it. Every time somebody tried mine, they bought one. So I sold 4 within a week. This is a $1,000 pistol. I sold 4 in a week. The last one was sitting there. I went to my dad and I said, listen, and he hated when I told this story because he knew I was right. I said, order more now before we can't get them anymore.
Yeah.
You sell the last one and then I'll order more. I go, we may not have, we might not be able to. The distributor might not have any more. And that's the other thing. When it comes to any of this stuff, like, if you're not a dealer, you don't have access to distributors where you get better pricing. You have to go through another retailer. So I said to him, I go, do it now before you can't get them. Sell the last one. I sold the last one. Guess what happened? Couldn't get them.
I feel like we've seen that a lot when it comes to mom and pop, quote unquote, mom and pop shops, right? And it's always, to call them mom and pop shops, in my opinion, has always been a little condescending. It's always been, because it's the same thing when people, they sort of like facetiously will use the word artisanal. It's the same fucking thing. It's like, I have a storefront and I sell honey that I harvest myself. I grow the flowers, I raise the bees, I harvest the honey, I jar it, I sell it. This is what it is. It is artisanal, meaning, it's not, manufactured and stuff like that. It's not on a grand scale. It's not wholesale or anything like that. It is farm to table kind of nonsense, okay?
I wouldn't
But
call it
someone
nonsense.
but someone will look at that and they'll be like, so you're charging twice as much as the grocery store does, but you want me to buy it. It's like, but some people will indulge in that because of the service that goes into it. They will support small, I mean, we always say support local, support small business and everything like that. The problem is that you can't always recoup your expense and a markup without jacking up your prices.
The other thing too that most people probably don't take into consideration is the fact that if the grocery store takes a loss, because they'll get a better price buying in bulk.
Yeah.
Okay. But if they take a loss, like if they have to dispose of bad product or whatever it is, they can just use that as a tax write-off.
Yes. But in all fairness, so could anybody.
But again, not at the forefront of everyone's mind.
Not at the forefront of everyone's mind, but to me, that's bad practice. Like, if you are going to recoup if you're going to return on your investment, like you have to be aware at all points of the overhead involved in producing that product.
Yeah. Like people used to say to me all the time, like, we don't understand. I think I must have said this before, but like, why do you sell your music gear that you've wanted for so long that you bought and whatever? I used to say all the time, I've never taken a hit because I've always made, whether it's a couple dollars more or a lot of dollars more, I've always made money on things that I've bought because I enjoy it for a while. And then when I feel like it's time to get something else or, put something else back into the world, now I said for a long time, I've never taken a hit. Okay. I can't always I can't say I've never taken one because if I've taken one, if I've lost money, it's because I intended to. It's because I willingly let something go for less than what I paid or I gifted it away.
Okay.
Okay. But, like the things that I do, like I'm not running, a cottage industry here.
Right.
Or a, multi, corporate, national, whatever bit. Like I'm not making money hand over fist here.
Yeah.
I'm just, indulging in my hobbies.
Right.
And using the proceeds of one sale to finance the next one.
Right. But like you have to also keep in mind that when it comes to resell from a reselling perspective, that not everything, because it's true, not everything will even maintain its value for resale purposes. Like when I had to sell a bunch of my jewelry many, many moons ago, right? I took a hit on all of that because I was not able to sell it for the value it was worth.
That's usually been the case with jewelry.
Yeah, that's just the way that it works.
It all depends on desirability.
Exactly. But the fact is that, I've seen you buy certain things and then be like, oh, it's not worth anything now. So it's like, I shouldn't sell it now. I'm going to hang on to it because it's not worth as much as I paid for it. So I'm not going to bother reselling it right now. It's like, all of that is understandable. I lost it.
One of the things I learned from that, though, is that I probably shouldn't have talked about what I was doing to as many people as I was for as long as I did, because I feel like at the time, around the time I started doing, like this all started back in like 2013 for me. Like, American Pickers and Pawn Stars and shows like that were already popular and everything, where people go and they buy
storage.
Yeah, they buy storage lockers and then they, resell whatever they find.
Yeah.
Like I came on a treasure trove of, vintage video games or whatever. But I feel like only a couple of years after I got into it, the whole world got into it. And the whole world was like, I can go make an eBay account. I can go make a marketplace account and I can just go buy crap and flip it. And yeah.
I mean, you see that now. You see the flea markets and stuff like that. And the people who go at 4 o'clock in the morning
on.
But that's just
because there's, but you know why it's appealing? It was fun for me because
it's easy.
Yeah, because there's very, very little effort involved.
There's very little effort involved. Yes. And it's I dare say it's a mark economy, because the fact of the matter is that all you need to do is convince somebody that what you're selling is worth what you're asking for. But if you're going to
do that, you still have to have a basic knowledge of what you're into and what you're trying to convey to your customer.
Like, do not get me wrong. I found a book at the flea market. Okay. I found, I found the complete works of Washington Irving.
Oh yeah,
I
remember
found
that.
2-volume set that was, and it was a first or second printing in exquisite condition. So you're talking like, 200 years old almost.
Mhm.
Okay. But the fact of the matter is that I got those books for $10 and I was not about to be like, these are worth more than $10. Now, if I were to turn around and sell those, I would, of course, ask what they're worth. Okay. I bought them for my own amusement because I like old things. Except
who doesn't?
Except my men. I like them just a little bit younger. But that's just it, is that, like, they could have asked a ton of money for something like that. They could have asked much more and just explained away that it is the condition, the age, and the rarity of such a product, especially in such a condition. That's the whole thing with these flea markets now, because they know that people are there for resale and they are there for resale themselves.
So to bring it back to the beginning,
bring it back.
Is what you're saying we should wait for the chicken to turn a little bit before we start to buy it, so that way we get a better price?
No. And I will tell you why.
Because
I have never in my life agreed with your father more when he tried to talk you out of buying meat that was on sale.
When did he do that?
He did it a couple of times.
He did?
Yes.
I don't recall
because
this at all.
You would buy the sale cuts, which were on the turn, and you're just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, but I never got sick. Nobody I ever cooked for got sick.
That's the point. The meat isn't supposed to come brown.
I never bought brown meat.
I love you.
Get the no. No, I would never.
You and your 33% off.
You were hey. You were always like, a little bit hesitant, especially when it came to like me cooking chicken for you for the first time. And I said, listen, I have never served anybody bad poultry and I don't intend to start now. And to this day, as of recording right here, I have yet to serve bad poultry.
Don't say it.
What do you mean don't say it?
Because you did once. You followed a recipe. You followed someone else's recipe and it came out undercooked. Once. One time. A few months ago. Do you remember that? And we had to nuke it.
Barely.
But it happened.
All right, well then that's
but nobody got sick. That was the point.
The moral of the story is I shouldn't follow anyone's recipes.
Yes, you go with your gut.
Oh, now I remember. It's the one where they showed you
it was like the Marsala or Franchise or something.
No. It was somebody on like TikTok or something that showed how long to pan fry a whole breast.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to test to see if it was true.
Yeah.
It was like Gordon Ramsay or somebody being like, this is what a chicken breast will look like if you cook it this many minutes on each side. And then this is what it'll look like if you cook it this many minutes on this. Of course, he's using a fucking gas stove, and we don't have one. He's got his hex flat pans.
This is true.
So that wasn't for the purposes of serving a meal. That was trial and error.
Yeah. And we erred and we rectified.
Yeah.
And nobody got sick.
No,
and that's
I have been cooking by eye.
Yeah.
For many years and done just fine.
I cook by opening it up and checking.
Yeah, no, I don't need it. Low and slow, baby. Low and slow is the wins
Or
the race.
I use my trusty thermometer that I know that you wish would end up in the trash.
I never said that at all.
No, you're okay with me having my meat thermometer?
Listen, all I know about that meat thermometer is that I do not have a fever. 98.6.
Perfect.
Steady as she goes.
To bring it back around, I'm not sure which, when I was saying that there are two ways to solve the issue.
To skin a cat.
No, there are more than two ways to skin a cat. Oh. All right. What I was going to say was that when I was talking about how, we've got the cost of living and then you've got the wage ceiling. Okay. One of those is going to have to give in order for that balance. Someone, like you said, someone's got to eat it, got to eat the loss in order to tip that scale.
Personally, I don't need to make more. I would just appreciate everything costing less. Like we're so used to it having been for the majority of our lives. Like if anything, prices should stay within a certain gap and wages, incrementally go. Like that's
now here's just
but see, that is based on like people would say to me like, how come you've never spent more than 2 years at any given job? Like, don't you want longevity? Don't you want this, that, and the other thing? And I'm just like, I go where the money's at.
Mhm.
Like, that's one thing I have never caved on. I have never left one job for the next one and taken a pay cut. I've never in my entire life taken a pay cut.
I've known plenty of people to do that for the sake of their mental well-being.
Never done it ever.
But what was I going to say? What was I
You're talking about somebody's got to eat it.
Yes, somebody's got to eat it. And so you have talked on multiple occasions about how if people would lower their prices per unit, their price per unit,
and just sell more of them,
they would sell more of them. But what happens when you have competitive pricing, right? And it's like we see competitive pricing all the time. We see that, like these 4 different places have the same price of something.
Then
and
you
it's
provide better service. You provide you give an incentive to shop.
Like that's what I'm saying. What is the incentive? Like truly, what do you think would actually get people if everything were competitively priced?
I'll tell you right now. You want to know why I keep going back to Theo's? Because this isn't even a joke. I have been eating their Reubens for years because out of every place that I've had a Reuben at since I started liking corned beef, Theo's in New Milford, Connecticut has always made the best one, the best tasting, the best textured, the best served with the best fries by the best people.
Yeah.
In the nicest, like I've said this to you a million times. I always wanted to have the same sort of rapport with like a diner setting and staff like my parents had with places where I grew up. I always felt that at Theo's because the staff is always friendly and courteous, always welcoming. The food is great. The food is always prepared as it should be. Mm-hmm. And the quality, like it's a grand slam every time. And that's why I don't deviate from that one choice.
But my question is now about the cost of going there.
It doesn't matter. I will pay extra for that. If the cost of a Reuben goes up, I will pay extra for that because it is worth it. Even if my wage does not go up. Now, we don't go there all the time, but I will never turn down a Reuben at Theo's.
So is it still a luxury?
Yes.
So something like that would be considered a luxury.
Because I can make one at home for less.
Yeah.
But I like theirs.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And that is acceptable to me. I would prefer that it, go down. I don't want Theo or his waitresses to make any less money, but it's like there's got to be a trade-off at some point. There has to be, like, somebody has to be okay being like, like, what is it going to take at this point? What is it going to take? Like,
I understand what you're saying. I think my example, my personal example of what you're talking about goes along with getting my massage therapy, right? I could go to a chain. I could book an appointment for half the price of what I pay for a private service who individualizes my treatment to what I need, is readily available to me, and is willing to work with me as far as scheduling, as far as my pain and my situation and everything like that. Like, could I get something cheaper? Yes. Do I believe it would be the same though? No, I don't. I don't think the experience would be as relieving as what I am willing to do. Now, I don't consider that a luxury, but it is.
Like, traditionally, my family always built rapport with people in the community, whether it was their, the restaurants they like to frequent, their doctors, people at the drugstore, the gas station, the church, the florist, the, drug center, the pharmacy,
et cetera.
And it gets to a point where when you see those people and interact with them on a regular basis, you develop this sense of community and bonding where, you look forward to seeing each other and you look forward to them patronizing your business and vice versa. And, I mean, in a corporate setting, there's really only so much that you can do. Like if you're going to a CVS or, something like that. But at least like when did it become so difficult for small businesses to thrive, for people to start up a business and say like, I want to open a donut shop or a florist or a convenience store,
Well,
you know?
that's just
Like,
it.
how come
Is
you don't see
that,
mom and pop gas stations? Why? Because the major companies have a stranglehold on the industry.
well, that's it. Is that when it comes to, it's gotta be the cost of doing business. It's gotta be the cost of doing business, you know? But it
But
comes the same.
where does it end?
I
You
don't
know,
know.
like you have these fucking morons on the green every weekend complaining about the no kings and this and that and the other thing and blah blah blah. And Donald Trump is evil and rich and a fucking Nazi and shit like that. It's like, what are you really doing? What are you really doing to help solve the problem? You're just bitching about the fact that he's in a position to make major decisions that affect all of our lives. Are you contributing to the benefits of society, or are you just being a hindrance? Like, are you really
I'm gonna
there
go with hindrance
trying to cause
because
some good, or are you just there to block traffic?
they're causing roads to be
Yeah.
closed
And
making my
animosity,
my drive home more inconvenient.
like,
But I don't know where it ends. I really don't. I don't know if it's a lack of community
well,
that, like, I mean, like, we were talking about that, like, you would think it's counterintuitive because you would think living in a small town would be less expensive,
mhm.
but it's not.
Well, think about it. In the post-COVID world, people aren't as friendly. People aren't as
Yeah.
communicative. Communicative?
Communicative, yeah.
Communicative. People aren't as willing to, like, I've been in so many settings over the last couple of years where, like, you're in a waiting room and no one's talking to each other. Like when I go to get my car, like when I
Yeah.
go to get my car worked on, nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's looking at their phones.
Yeah.
When waiting to see a doctor, like when I went to go see the orthopedist the other day, everybody's looking at their phones. Nobody is carrying on casual conversation. Nobody's being like, oh, how, like, unless it's somebody you already know, being like, oh, how's the kids? How's the family? It's like, nobody's like, okay, that's exactly why I wanted us to do what we did on Friday after dinner.
Which was,
We went out and we just played games at the local game store,
oh yeah.
not engaged in the competition. But what happened? A couple people walked over, looked at what we were doing. Some people made some comments, and it's like, hey, maybe if we keep doing that, we start building that sense of community with some people.
Now, I spoke to a woman in the line at the UPS store one time, and I'm going to go on record as saying that was a boo-boo because this woman was horrible. She was so negative about absolutely everything. She used the fuck word with a perfect stranger, and I was like, I'm like, this little old lady is not nice.
Was this better or worse than your experience in the CVS line when the woman commented on your tattoos?
That woman, there's a special place reserved for people like that. Okay.
I'm sorry, did I open an old wound?
That's a fact. Yeah. I almost forgot about that. Thank you. No, but like, I understand the discomfort that comes along with talking to strangers and everything. Not everyone does it. Not everyone wants to. Not everyone's comfortable with it. But like,
People have become less comfortable with it in recent years.
yes. But I feel like people are also less comfortable talking to people that they know.
There's
Like,
that too.
there is such a remove at this point from communicating and from interacting and everything like that, that, like, that's why conversations like this don't happen.
I mean, just a year ago, I threw a friend of mine of 20 plus years out of our house because he was rude to us.
Well, he was a dick.
Yeah.
He broke the rule.
And he didn't, he didn't even give an apology. He said,
No.
I quote, "If I offended you, I would be sorry."
Yeah. If
Like,
I had offended you, I would be sorry.
go fuck yourself.
It's like, that's not an apology.
No, it's not. And I haven't heard from him since.
No, and I say good riddance.
Mm,
I
it's
mean,
bad
I'm,
rubbish.
As
Better
far
friends,
as, yeah,
better
I
heads
mean,
on a mug
that's
of
just
beer.
it.
Go back to that episode. You'll hear all
there
about it.
there are better ways of spending your time and your money, because you wasted some money on that fool too.
I sure did.
Yeah,
Because all he ever cared about was how much I was spending on his
that's all
birthdays.
he cared about. That's all he cared about, and people don't need that. They, it's better to spend
And
it on eggs.
And I gave him the luxury of spending. I splurged on him for his birthday that year. Like, he was always like, "What are you getting me for my birthday? What are you getting me, huh? What am I getting? What am I getting? How much? Where are you taking me?" And it's just like, Do I ever say that to you?
No.
Fucking like,
No.
I would rather talk to a stranger. At least a stranger might be polite.
Probably at least a little bit more polite than that. I mean, unless it's that one lady, in which case she uses the fuck word.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one sitting behind us today who was just like conjuring spirits.
No. I mean, to each their own in that situation. Maybe she was praying for the price of eggs to go down.
Maybe she was praying for the Price is Right.
Well, this was a good talk.
It was fun.
This was a fun talk. Thank you for tuning in. We went a little sideways in a couple of areas, but I think we stayed on topic. We stayed, if not on topic, we stayed on brand. That's for sure. So thank you for tuning in. We had a blast. Find us on Instagram, DTND and JJ Star with 2 R's. You can email us, DTND and JJ Star at gmail.com. Conversation starters, enders, questions, comments, concerns for our well-being. I did that backwards.
You got it down pat though.
Woo! People, listen up, okay? Gonna talk real talk for a second.
Uh-oh.
Next week, a week from the airing of this episode will be the airing of our 100th episode. 100th episode of That Talking Podcast, your favorite podcast, the number one podcast you're listening to right now. And we will be going live. Well, not live, but we will be going live in front of a studio audience.
We'll be going
with our 100th episode extravaganza. It's also the end of season 2. It will be the finale of the second full fucking season of this show. We've been doing this for 2 years.
You know what I'll do? Maybe I'll do the theme song live.
That would be interesting.
With those lyrics I wrote.
You wrote lyrics?
Oh yeah, remember? I sang them to you once.
I must have rolled my eyes because I must have rolled my eyes so hard my memory erased.
I'm gonna have to get that string fixed on my viola.
You're gonna have to.
Get some rosin on that bow, bitch.
Oh man, but yes, tune in, and then we will have a brief break, our 1 week vacay while we prep for season 3 to begin anew on Earth Day. It will be going on Earth Day this year, I think.
You will find true love on Earth Day.
You will find true love on Flag Day. Meanwhile...
Why, it's Flag Day today.
What do you got going on?
The Saturday after this airs, April 4th.
April 4th.
Tax Collectors and Harlots will be at Cherry Street in Wallingford, Connecticut. We're on at 10:30. Doors are at 7. With Toxic Paralysis and 2 other bands. Don't ask me who they are. You'll find out when you get there. And then the 25th, I think we're back at Dead Language in Hartford. Cool. Always a good time. Come one, come all.
Yes. We'll have the dog. She'll be there. So
and the battle jacket and everything.
Come pet the dog. And you can find Tax Collectors and Harlots, Love Heart Art, Coat of Arms Tattoo, all on Instagram. And find
when is the convention? Tell them when the convention is.
It's April 17th, 18th, and 19th at Mohegan Sun Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut. We will be hanging out with the fam from Coat of Arms.
We will be getting tattooed by the fam from Coat of Arms.
And find them on Instagram, DM the shop or any of the artists who are going to be there. I'm sure they still have maybe a couple of appointment slots available for that weekend.
We have both of us have been tattooed by pretty much everyone there.
Yeah.
So we can speak very highly of them all.
Very much. And their work speaks for itself. So definitely find them out. Anyone in the Western Connecticut area, definitely come through because they do some excellent work and we love them.
And the New England Tattoo Festival is always a good time.
It is a good time. There's live music. There are
BMX.
I don't know if they're going to do BMX this year, but they do live music, magic shows. I know there's a magician going to be there. Contortionists. God knows what else they're going to. Sword swallowers, sideshow stuff, and everything
aerial
like
acrobatics.
That. A lot of fun. So come one, come all. Not a sponsor, but what the hell. Meanwhile, I think that's it. Is that it? Is that it for today? That's a full lid? Yeah, from the 3 of us at That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
We'll talk to you later.